Are you a federal worker thinking about the Deferred Resignation Plan, VERA, DSR, or VSIP, and you want to know how much FERS Social Security Supplement you'd be getting? Well, you're in the right place. In a previous video, I talked about when you'd be entitled to a FERS Social Security Supplement, and in this video, we're going to talk about how much. I'm an attorney and former federal worker who took VERA and VSIP in December of last year, and I'm doing these videos to help you guys navigate the process and to help you make the most informed choice about an important subject like this, which is going to affect you and your whole family. So people love to say less is more, but let's face it, when it comes to money, more is more, and you want to know exactly how much you'd be entitled to. So I'll put all the source materials in the description so you guys can print them out and look at them at your leisure. But this comes from LaceyHarmon.com, and she's a person that is a consultant and advises federal workers on this type of stuff. And I thought this diagram was pretty helpful. I found this on her LinkedIn. So just to recap, there are plenty of ways you'd be eligible for retirement, such as the postponed, deferred, the MRA plus 10. But the ones where you'd be entitled to the FERS Social Security Supplement are the VERA if it's offered to you and you accept it, or if you don't accept a VERA and you're terminated in a RIF, if you get the discontinued service retirement. It's the exact same benefits and the exact same eligibility. So you are entitled to it if you worked for the federal government for 25 years and you're any age whatsoever, or if you've worked for the federal government for 20 years and you're 50 years of age. So I took the VERA at 53, and under VERA or VSIP, you are entitled to an unreduced pension, the same pension that you'd get at 62, which you wouldn't get under these other provisions. And in addition, between the ages of 57 and 62, you'd be entitled to a FERS Social Security Supplement to tide you over until Social Security kicks in. So if you are less than the minimum retirement age, the MRA, you would get your pension immediately unreduced, and then you would get that until age 56. And then from 57 to 62, you would get this FERS Social Security Supplement. And then at 62 and up, you would lose this, but you would be entitled to Social Security. So how much do you get? It's a formula, and the formula is this. This is from a OPM pamphlet entitled Information for FERS Annuitants. And if we scroll down, the formula is on page 12 of the pamphlet. So you would take your number of years and you would divide it by 40. So if I had 20 years of service, 20 divided by 40 is 1/2. So whatever number I would be entitled to for Social Security at age 62, I would get half of that as a FERS Social Security Supplement from 57 to 62. If I had 30 years of service, 30 divided by 40, that's 3/4. So 75% of what I would get at 62 under Social Security is what I would get under the FERS Social Security Supplement. So right now, some of you are thinking, okay, that's how I figure out what percentage I get, but percentage of what? How do I know how much Social Security I'd be entitled to at 62? I'll tell you right now. So you should get mailed one of these every year, just like I do. And this has the amount of Social Security that you've been paying into the system. And with that, they can calculate how much you'd get at age 62 if you took Social Security right away, or 70. But the number you want is the number 62. So this is the number that you would type into that formula and figure out how much you'd get under the FERS Social Security Supplement. Hey guys, not to interrupt this video, but if you're getting value from this content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so the Google algorithm would push it out to more people and they can take advantage of this as well. So there's some people who keep track of everything that they're mailed, and if you're one of those people, just dig out this and you can figure out that number and punch it into the formula. If you're not, and you are like me and you just throw this away because you think, oh my God, 62 or 70, that's a million years away. I'll never be that old. It'll happen one day. So if you threw that away, just like I did, how do you get that number? There's the easy way and the hard way, and I'll show you both. So this statement comes to you once a year from SSA. So you're going to go to the SSA website, and because they sent you this statement, they have this information. And what you're going to have to do if you don't have an account at the SSA website is you're going to have to create an account, and you're going to have to put in your social, email, things like that. and then it will pull up the same information that's in this document right here, and then you can use that to figure out how much you're going to get at age 62. And with that, plus your years of service, you can figure out exactly how much you'll get as the FERS supplement. That's the hard way. I'll give you the easy way. Won't give you an exact number, but it'll give you a pretty close number, so you'll be in the ballpark. Some people like ballparks, some people don't. When I worked at a law firm and somebody would ask the partner about giving a ballpark number, he would always say, I have a deal with the ballparks. I don't sell hot dogs and they don't practice law. So he would not give ballpark numbers, but I'm going to do this thing here to give you a ballpark. So let's assume I was born on January 1st, 1970, and that I make $106,000, which is the average salary for a federal employee in the United States. That this year is 2025, and I will make the average. And I know some people are retiring in March of this year, and it's very advantageous to retire in the last month of the year. So let's assume I'm going to retire in December 2025. Put in the info, my date of birth, how much I made this year, when I plan to retire, and I hit submit request. And then it gives me a bunch of numbers, and you are going to ignore this number, ignore these numbers, and this is the number you want. This is how much you'd get from Social Security at age 62. This is the number, 1855. So once again, if you have this statement, just look right here. If you don't have this statement and you want an exact number, you can set up an account through SSA, and then it will give you an exact number. And if you want a ballpark number, you can just go to here, and then it will tell you after you put in your salary and when you intend to retire, a bunch of numbers. You're going to ignore this, and you're going to look at this, 1855. And once again, I will put links to all of this in the description. So you don't have to freeze the thing. You can just go to the end, and I'll provide it all later. So with that number from Social Security and your years of service, you can figure it out on your own using the formula. If you don't want to use the formula because you hate doing math, there's this website here that will do it for you. It's FedWeek, and I'll just plug it in here. If I had 20 years of service, this is how much I would get monthly as the FERS Social Security Supplement. If I had 30 years of service, this is how much I would get from the FERS Social Security Supplement. As I mentioned in the previous video, on your pension, your federal pension, there is no income limit. You can earn as much as you want, and your federal pension would not get reduced. However, just like with Social Security, with this FERS Social Security Supplement, if you make too much money, they will take some money out of this. So there is a limit, which I talked about in the other video, $23,400. And for each $2 more than that limit that you make, they will take away $1 from your FERS Social Security Supplement. So past that limit, every $2, you lose $1, but up to that limit and below, you don't lose anything. And as always, your federal pension is not income tested, so any amount of money you make would not detract from your federal pension. So I think that's about as much as I can say about this. If you guys are interested in other videos like VERAs, VSIPs, RIFs, retention registers, things like that, just leave that in the comments so I'll know what you guys are looking for. And check the description for the source materials and stuff like that. And just a reminder, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not your lawyer. I'm not even an employment lawyer. I'm a guy with ADHD, an internet connection, and too much time on his hands. So I'm doing these videos to try to help you guys work through the process, because I know it was complicated for me. And, you know, going through the dysfunctional stuff that's going on in the government this year, and our HR guys weren't stressed and overwhelmed like they are now. So I figure I can pass along whatever information I gained onto you, and hopefully you guys can help each other with that information, make the right decision for you and your family. And if you have a coworker that is struggling with this and you understand it, you can explain it to them. I know there are people that do this for a living and charge money for this. I don't want any money for this. I don't think there's anything wrong with people making a living doing this, but I think I've given you enough information and the source materials that you guys can figure this out on your own. And I have no intention of charging you for this. You know, I think like I have this phone. If I gave you my phone, you have the phone and I don't. But if I have an idea or I have a piece of information and I give it to you, I still have the information. And now we both have the information, and you can give it to as many people as you want. and we all still have the same information. We didn't lose anything. So just share this information if you've learned something, and help each other out, because your coworkers are under a lot of stress, and they have to make the same difficult decisions that you do. So just, stick together, because they're trying to divide us all. And, if you guys stick together, I think we have a better chance of winning on this. So I think that's all for today. Just some housekeeping stuff. I did a live show when we hit 2,000. I thought it went really well, but YouTube demonetized it, probably because I cursed too much, so I took it down. I'll do another live show when we hit 5,000, and probably a lot more cursing. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for what you said in the comment. I really appreciate that you guys are getting a lot out of these videos. I enjoy making them, and I'm glad it's helping you guys. And thank you for all your well wishes. My better half did have her infusions on Friday, and she's got another one in a couple of weeks. So I think I mentioned she has something called myasthenia gravis, and she has to get these infusions of Rituxan periodically, and it was a fight to get the insurance company to approve it and stuff like that. But I think we're moving in the right direction, and I appreciate the well wishes. So as I said, if you have ideas for other videos, put them in the comments. I'll put links to everything I can in the description, so you can share them and print them out and look at them at your leisure. And there's a buy me a coffee link if you want to support the channel, but don't feel like you have to. And just, I'd rather you guys just stick together and help each other out. And, you guys can get through this. So good luck, everyone. It might be a few days before I do another video, because I'm busy doing my taxes today. But, hang in there.